Kirby's 30th anniversary has been one of Nintendo's most explosive celebrations. The little pink ball turned 30 and celebrated with his most successful game to date, different experiences, and the return of one of his most memorable two-dimensional adventures. Kirby's Return to Dreamland lands on Nintendo Switch with a deluxe edition, and we've already checked it out to tell you what we think about it. Hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notifications so you won't miss our next videos. This is our Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe for Nintendo Switch review. Among Nintendo's console games, Kirby in particular is not one that stands out for its story, at least not on the surface, because we've already seen many times that Kirby's lore is more sinister than that of Five Nights at Freddy's. In any case, in Return to Dreamland, Kirby goes on an adventure alongside King Dedede, Meta Knight, and Bandana Waddle Dee as they try to help a mysterious character they've just met. As you know, Kirby is always willing to help others. Megolore lost in a battle, and Kirby and his friends are going to help him repair his ship called Lore Starcutter. To do so, they'll have to go on a huge adventure through Dreamland that's very traditional in style, but with some gameplay mechanics that give it a fresh twist. As with most Nintendo platformers, the story is just a way to take you through the levels and enjoy a game like the ones of yesteryear, leaving all the weight on its gameplay. Kirby's Return to Dreamland also presents itself as a title focused on multiplayer enjoyment. Both the main adventure and the mini-game section in Merry Magoland are geared towards playing with other people. At the start of the game, Kirby's Return to Dreamland conveys that it is a classic adventure, but fully multiplayer and accessible to all players. A very predictable storyline and lack of ambition makes Kirby's Return to Dreamland just another game about the character with nothing to make it truly special. There are styles that can be more or less favorable to the Kirby saga. Return to Dreamland Deluxe opted for a new aesthetic that reuses the original but adds a cel shading effect with sharp, defined edges to make the main characters easier to see. This controversial decision, which partially undoes the style of the original game, is a good one. It's not as distinctive and personal as Kirby's epic yarn, but this version is graphically different from all the others, even the original, with some effects that really suit the game. A much lower graphical load than Kirby Star Allies, with a less detailed and more static scenery, means that Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe's performance stabilizes at 60 frames per second. The increased resolution on the simple models created for the Wii has made everything look cleaner, and perhaps this is the main reason for the choice to add a layer of shading to the characters to make them stand out. The result is a visually pleasing game, simplistic but beautiful and very fluid. The new Merry Magoland area may remind you of Waddle Dee Town from the Forgotten Land. This is a place where we can move around in 3 dimensions, albeit on top of a star and with few possibilities. Here, the performance is down to 30 frames per second, just as it did in Kirby and the Forgotten Land. There are no surprises with the choice and design of the stages, designed to offer a clever gameplay, but aesthetically simple and unoriginal compared to previous platformers and even Kirby's own games. Jun Ishikawa and Hirokazu Ando are the composers of this Kirby game, which doesn't change its soundtrack from the Wii version, and they get it right with a classic sound that works. There are new songs by the same composers, which belong to the new parts of the game. Interestingly, it would be difficult to distinguish which are new and which are old, which we think is a good thing. We are still surprised that, at this point, cutscenes have no voices or sound effects. It's a design decision that has been maintained, but Kirby asked for something more to emphasize his strong personality. Kirby games may be the least evolved in Nintendo's games over time. While Super Mario incorporated more creative stages or new ways of interacting between players, Kirby was more faithful to its initial gameplay, including new power-ups or multiplayer, but all in a very superficial way. This resulted in platforms games that are entertaining but very similar to each other and not particularly creative. Kirby's Return to Dreamland is just another one, with Megalore as a central axis around which the story revolves, but with little coherence in its development. Sadly, we won't get anything as elaborate as Donkey Kong Country Returns Worlds, to take an example of another recent Nintendo platformer. On the plus side, it is one of the most accessible games you'll find in the Nintendo Switch library. Controls are very simple and can be mastered in a few minutes. As with almost all Kirby games, it's not a challenging experience per se. It's often frustrating because its real difficulty lies in showing us collectibles too late, sometimes making us replay the entire stage to get them. Coincidentally, and after playing its predecessor, Kirby Star Allies, we found the movement of the protagonists more fluid and friendly, so overall, it feels more pleasant to play. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe's story and epilogue can take around 11 to 12 hours to complete, although fans of collectibles will have a lot more work to do. As a remaster of the Wii game, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is focused on two things: adapting the visuals to high definition, prioritizing image clarity over detail, and of course adding enough extras to make you want to go back and complete it on the Nintendo Switch if you already played the Wii game. To that end, Megaland has been created. It's a place full of mini-games and rewards that can be used in Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe's story mode. In addition to special challenges and unlockable music, we can equip masks on Kirby and Co. and give them some unique looks. They have no effect on gameplay, but are just collectibles that greatly extend the game's length. The mini-games have good ideas and can provide fun moments in multiplayer sessions for up to 4 friends, but their lifespan, possibilities, and replayability are very limited. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe includes an additional story called Megalore Epilogue with some interesting gameplay changes. Here, we control Megalore, who can boost aspects such as his health, attack power, and rate of fire. He can also acquire new abilities in a similar way to a Kirby RPG. We like this experiment, although it is a shame that it's so short and you can complete it within 2 or 3 hours. Now, if the game is too difficult for those less accustomed to platformers, there's the Helper Megalore mode, which gives more vitality or prevents you from falling down. In contrast, the Extra mode will make the adventure harder with less health for Kirby and having to take extra care of the character. Nintendo has decided to end Kirby's 30th anniversary with this remastering of the classic Wii game that has a lot of good things. The change in visual style suits it very well, and although it doesn't look as detailed as Kirby Star Allies, it leaves us with a very fluid and pleasing to the eye game. Also included, of course, are a good amount of extras and Megaland as an alternate hub for the adventure. The latter wasn't completely necessary, but at least it serves to give the game a bit more body and character. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe doesn't quite shine for its lack of originality and creativity when it comes to level creation, but it does offer a fun multiplayer experience that engages and entertains. So what do you think of this remastered Wii game? Leave your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out on the latest Nintendo Switch reviews. See you next time!